884 kilometers of silence. Fiorano test circuit, dawn. The asphalt is wet. A scarlet car crouches at the end of the pit lane like a coiled animal. No crowd. No cameras. Just the low hum of purpose. They did not come here for glory. They came for data. For 2 days. 2 long, grueling, unglamorous days. Lewis Hamilton strapped himself into the SF26 and drove. And drove. And drove. 142 laps on the first day. A best time of 1:01.031, whispered to no one. Then dawn again. Then 155 more laps. 461 kilometers of rain-soaked tarmac swallowed whole. A best lap of 1:00.740. Faster, always faster. 297 total laps. 884 kilometers. 22 degrees of ambient heat. A best lap of 1:00.740. Numbers that mean nothing to the outside world and everything to the men in the garage. This was not a race. This was something rarer. A man married to his craft, measuring the invisible, speaking the language of millimeters and temperature windows and crossover thresholds that the world will never hear him speak. Pirelli dictated everything. The run plan, the compounds, the sequences. Hamilton was not a driver here. He was an instrument. A 7-time world champion reduced, willingly, to a human sensor array. The new full wet tread pattern, already trialed at Suzuka, was placed beneath him. The intermediate variant followed. And between those two rubber formulations lived the critical gray area that Ferrari and Pirelli were hunting together, the crossover. The precise, elusive moment when one tire's world ends and another's begins. Charles Leclerc was in the simulator. Fred Vasseur was in technical meetings. And Hamilton was at Fiorano, lap after lap, feeding the machine. On April 22nd, Leclerc takes his turn. A filming day. A new upgrade package. The story moves to Miami. A war room somewhere in Maranello. Whiteboards covered in aerodynamic theory. Coffee cups. The low murmur of engineers who have not slept. Ferrari is building a weapon. They are calling it the Macarena wing. The concept is elegant and desperate in equal measure. A reverse wing design engineered for one purpose. Raw, brutal straight-line speed. Every tenth of a second squeezed from the air. Every fraction of drag stripped away. The target? The silver car in the rearview mirror. Mercedes. And their engine. The power unit advantage that Mercedes currently holds over Ferrari is not a small gap. It is a chasm that cannot be bridged with aerodynamics alone. Not entirely. Not forever. A new internal combustion unit is coming. Engineers speak of it in hushed tones. July. Not before July. And so Ferrari must survive until July. They must hold on with both hands to a car that is a step forward but not yet the step. A car that finishes third, again and again, with two of the finest drivers alive in its cockpit and still cannot quite reach the summit. Miami may change that. The Macarena arrives in Florida. Hamilton will have Sanny on the radio for car 44. The upgrade package tested on April 22nd will be bolted on, scrutinized, hoped upon. The Scuderia will not simply be racing McLaren and Mercedes. They will be racing the clock, racing July, racing the gap, racing the ghost of Adrian Newey's ghost at Red Bull, racing the specter of Andrea Stella's impossible McLaren transformation. The pressure does not wait for July. The paddock whispers are the loudest sound in Formula One. Frederic Vasseur is at the front of the grid. Behind him, the knives are being sharpened. Fred Vasseur has a contract until 2027. In Formula One, contracts are polite fictions. What matters is the podium. What matters is the title. What matters, above all, is whether Maranello decides you are the man or the obstacle. The whispers have a name attached, Andrea Stella. The Italian engineer who began his career at Ferrari under Michael Schumacher, who left quietly, who rebuilt McLaren from the wreckage of mid-table mediocrity into back-to-back Constructors' Champions. 2 consecutive titles. A driver's championship with Lando Norris. A transformation so total it borders on the miraculous. Some say Stella already has a pre-agreement with Ferrari. Italian media denies it. Paddock sources whisper it anyway. In Formula One, the denial is sometimes the confirmation. And there is another name circling in. The air above Red Bull's Milton Keynes fortress, Pierre Watch. Technical director. Inheritor of Adrian Newey's throne, and perhaps its most uncomfortable occupant. Red Bull is changing. Gianpiero Lambiase is gone to McLaren. Jonathan Wheatley, Will Courtney, Craig Skinner. The walls are emptying, one brilliant mind at a time. Ferrari is watching. Vasseur and Watch share history from their Sauber days, a connection that lives somewhere between professional respect and strategic possibility. If Red Bull's 2026 car underdelivers, if Verstappen's patience fractures, if the internal blame finds a convenient shoulder to rest upon, Watch may look southward, toward Maranello, toward the red, toward the fire. The player board of Formula One is reshuffling. It reshuffles every year. But this year the stakes feel different. Hamilton and Leclerc in the same car. Stella lurking. Watch circling. An engine arriving in July that could change everything. 884 kilometers of rain at Fiorano. A wing designed like a dance move. A team principal with a contract and a stopwatch ticking against him. A technical director who may be about to become available. A 7-time world champion who drove 297 laps in the rain and said nothing to the cameras because the data said everything for him. Ferrari does not whisper. It roars. Or it burns. Maranello is deciding which.